console, and then we can decide whether we want to accept the grant or not and move forward. But we can't.
And her saying she wants to wait a few days to see if what we got works.
I may not have to apply for anything.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is the timing, because we won't meet again by the grant application deadline.
They opened the grant July 1st. It closes August 2nd. We were aware 100% this grant was open and eligible on June 25th.
I think,
what we
have to do as a government, we have to start thinking further ahead than one budget year. We have to have a longer eye toward where we need to go as a community to have a safe community, to have the communications that we need between people in the field and people in facilities and all those things. Do we have bridges that are deteriorating? If so, how much time is left on them? We just have to think more than 1 year at a time. And I think especially when you've been in economic hard times, because I've seen this in other communities. This isn't just here. You get so focused on cost cutting to put that fire out immediately and get your spending down because tax digest are falling, that you start to lose the forward vision. You're so focused on how do we get through this year and get our costs down, and it becomes a habit that you've got to break. And that's what we have to do going forward, is break that habit, come out of sort of that daily line item focus and look bigger and longer out and pull in all the things that we know that are coming down the pipe that need to be addressed and start to think that way. And we'll begin doing that in the next staff meeting, because we're going to do a little exercise in an effort to start us on that path of thinking further ahead. Doesn't fix things for tonight or for the last meeting or the next one. But, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay. So what's the board decision on this request? I've done a lot of talking, so does anybody else have any opinion?
I'm just excited you maybe found a $500 tip.
Yes. Now for the radio dispatch control consoles, if the $500 fix does not work and you miss the deadline, then that grant's out.
Yes, sir.
But if you put in the grant, we get accepted, but we don't need it,
we can withdraw. Or we can do a change of scope of work.
But here it is. People going to say, well, if you can get $50,000 by only paying $7,500, then they're going to say, let's go. Okay, let's go. So, all right.
You could change the scope of work
as long as it stays within what you're originally applying for communications interoperability equipment. As long as you are still addressing interoperability equipment, that issue, it would have to go before the approval process, but yes, that is allowed. It has been done under this growth changes of scope of work, as long as it stays within. You can't go from communications to firefighting. You can't completely change.
What I suggest is go ahead.
And if your $500 fix doesn't work, you have to do this. To get covered.
We're going to have to do something, yes.
You've been going through this $500
there's no
fix
other.
for the last 3 weeks, haven't you?
Well, today's the first it got in. It came in and got put in today.
No,
that
you did something else here a couple of weeks ago.
We just tweaked levels and played, and we didn't replace any equipment. We did replace a piece of equipment.
She's had a series of folks in there, and they've tried different things, and this thing didn't work.
Three different vendors.
Yeah. Trying to find an inexpensive way to fix it.
So basically what we're looking at is we approve applying for the grant and we get the grant, then we got to figure out where we're going to get $7,500 from.
Or that's what we accept the question.
Or if you're going to accept or if you're going to withdraw.
I would suggest to go ahead and apply for the grant, and then hopefully this $500 fix work, and then we can decide if we get approval what we want to do with the grant at that.
What does our badge come do?
The grant is actually the reimbursement grant, so we will pay the bill and then they'll reimburse us, so your match will just be basically when the bill's due.
Can it Will someone offer a motion, go ahead and authorize 911 to apply for the Apple grant and for the console, and then we can decide whether we want to accept it based on the $500 fix.
I'll make that motion to accept, to apply for the grant
Okay.
for the radio dispatch control modules.
Motion on the floor, is there a second?
A second.
Second by Commissioner Pratt. All in favor of that motion?
When will you update us on your progress on the $500 fix?
Next meeting.
Next meeting,
Or you
or an update.
just
I'll keep up with
Karen and she can fill us
Karen.
up.
We'll communicate about it.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
All in favor of that motion, second, show by the meeting. Thank you.